Alright folks, so good morning. We're here on this beautiful Thursday. I want to touch base on a couple of little things that a lot of people struggle with. You know, us as a business as well. It's not really a struggle, but I guess it's more of a kind of like a frustration, I guess you could say. So the sense of the subject is more of a situation like, you know, when a customer contacts via the website, email, social media, anything of that nature, and they reach out to you and stuff, and they want a quote, you know, and to get estimated and stuff for whatever job that they have in detailed. We cover a lot of bases, so we cover lawn care, we cover landscaping, we cover tree services, hardscapes, you know, just a lot of territorial area that's kind of in our group. You know, we do pressure washing and all kinds of stuff like that as well. So, you know, a lot of people reach out and stuff like that. But the moral of what I'm trying to start with here is, you know, basically, what do you do when customer reaches out and says, hey, I want a quote for such and such thing? For like an example, you know, had a guy contact me and stuff, wanting some tree service done. Had a couple maple trees and stuff in their backyard, not nothing big. Stump was probably 4 foot round, you know, and these were like 20 foot tall. They've been topped recently, but whoever topped them probably topped them at a wrong time of the year, ended up killing the whole top of the tree. Now they're pretty much dead, and then only the stump and stuff is growing. So what I'm getting at here is the customer had reached out. They were like, hey, I got these 2 trees, I need you to look at them. If you can get them down and stuff, you know, that's fine. If not, then I can find somebody else. And I was like, okay, cool, let me take a look. Took a look at everything, talked to the customer and stuff, and was like, you know, hey, we are, you know, we're able to do this. This is not too big of a deal. I don't have to bring out a whole lot of machinery and stuff, just a few saws, you know, a trailer and stuff, and a little bit of labor. And so I was like, you know, that's cool and all. And, you know, so we went ahead and, you know, worked up the estimate and stuff. And the biggest thing that kills me the most is people want estimates and stuff. And I get everybody shopping around. I get that. You know, I can do that just as well as the next person stuff, and that's cool and all. But, you know, when it comes to, you know, you reaching out to people, more than likely, most people will reach out due to the fact of they don't like what somebody else has told them. They don't like, you know, the pricing or whatever. Well, the funny part about this story was this guy had reached out to me, and, you know, like I said, we had already done the estimate and stuff like that. But once we had done all of that work, of course, granted, this is another thing that people doesn't, you know, understand. Doing estimates and stuff like that, that's pretty much on a free will basis. Now, me as a company or anybody else as a company doesn't have to do it for free, you know. And I think it's kind of venturing to a point to where I'm only going to give it free for so much time, okay? You know, so once we're already invested a whole lot of time and everything, it's going to come to a point to where you have to get paid at some point, because you can't just do all this free wood work for people and for them to turn you down or try to Jew you down on the price number or try to persuade you in doing something else or something like that. You know, you as a business and us as a business have to promote yourself. You have to progress. I mean, you have to grow. You can't, you know, constantly do these things and, you know, constantly get lowballed and all that stuff. And granted, we're not a company that, you know, goes out here and, you know, sees something or whatever and it's automatically, oh, I gotta have $5 grand for that. No, that's like bogus, crazy talk. Excuse me. You know, when it comes to, you know, quoting people and stuff, we evaluate every situation. Like when this situation comes to these trees this guy had, they were in his backyard. They were semi close to his patio, but they were about 10 or 12 foot off. You could lay them down in the backyard with no problem, cut them up, load them up, get them gone, grind the stumps and move on. and not a big deal. Well, the biggest thing that kind of irritated me is I had done worked on this stuff, had been talking to the guy for a couple of days because he was an elderly guy, supposedly a veteran and all this other stuff. Never met the guy in person, just talked to him on phone. But he came to me and he's like, well, I wonder if you can do it like my AC guys. And I was like, what do you mean? So he claimed to me that he had bought a brand new AC unit. All right, now I've replaced my AC unit and I know it doesn't work this way, okay, unless insurance or something is involved. Well, this guy claimed to me that he bought a brand new unit, or let me back up here. He didn't buy the unit yet. He didn't pay anything for it, but they come out and installed it and put it in his house and hooked it up and everything for free before he had to pay a dime. What? No, it doesn't work that way. They make you purchase it, and a lot of companies may install it for free, but you have to purchase that. You can't just, I mean, that's like going into Lowe's and saying, hey, I need this refrigerator over here, and I want you to put it in my house just to make sure that it matches everything, and plug it up and let me put food and drinks in it and everything, and then I'll pay you. No. It don't work that way, folks. It does not work that way. And when it comes to business, just like I told the guy, I didn't ask for everything up front, but I told the guy, he was, you know, hesitant and all this other stuff, and he's like, you know, well, I've lived life, and I'm old, and I'm this and that, and whatever. That's cool and all. You know, I've had grandparents as well, just like everybody else and stuff, and I know my granddad was a master landscaper, and I know how the ball game rolls. I know how the effects are on it when you do something dumbfounded and take an excuse from somebody to where you believe them. You know, we've got stood up so many times after doing a job, and then people are like, well, I don't have the money and I can't pay it right now and stuff. Well, ma'am or sir, you signed the contract, you agreed to it, you've already paid a 50% deposit to get us out here and to get us started to do the job. Your name's on this paperwork. So in return, if it has to go to court or collections agency, then that's what it has to turn into. But people, in reality, you shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't. I mean, if somebody's going to reach out to you, taking the instance, if I'm the customer, I'm going to reach out to this business or whatever, and I'm going to say, hey, I need this and this done. Can you estimate how much it's going to be or whatever, and come out and get that taken care of or whatever. They're going to want a portion of the deposit. Some companies are, you know, they're quite dumb if you go out and do a big job, you got 2 or 3 guys on labor and all this or whatever, and you expect a guy or woman to pay you at the end of it without no agreement or anything in between you guys or anything. That's why we always do a deposit, because the deposit secures me saying, hey, the customer wants it done, they've got money in hand, they're ready to go, you know, they're willing to do what it takes and get us out there. Well, that gives me a lot of confidence in knowing that the customer is not going to screw me in doing the job, because I don't mind helping somebody out, but at the same time, if you reach out to me, right, and you ask me to do a job and we're in agreement that you want me to perform the job, then you need to have the money in hand. You need to be ready, because I'm ready. I got tools loaded up, I got the trailers behind me, I got man labor in the truck or whatever that's necessary to do that job. Whether it be anything, lawn mowing, landscaping, tree work, pressure washing, whatever. I've got it ready to go. I'm waiting on you to give me a go ahead, right? So, the moral of what we're going back to the story of this guy, you know, he wanted, you know, we talked on the phone and this and that and whatever, and you know, I told the guy, I was like, you know, I don't expect you to pay all of it up front. You know, it was a pretty decent price tag to do these trees and stuff, just because it was close to the house, you know, insurance reasons, all of those things. You know, we had to put all of that in order. Well, you know, with that being said, you know, I told the guy, I was like, he's like, well, I can't pay that much in advance. I can pay it when it's done. And I was like, you can pay when it's done, but you're having an issue of paying in advance and securing the contract and the scheduled date and time and all that to get you taken care of. Well, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, as we've been stood up by some people. To me, deep down, folks, that sounds like somebody's trying to just get me for something. And I'm like, you know, as a business, you can't float on hopes and dreams. You know, our kids can't, you know, get out here and float on nothing. You know, I've got to have money just like the next person to be able to pay for bills and pay for expenses, pay for the business, pay for the kids to have stuff, whatnot, and all that stuff. You know, but in return, I told the guy, I was like, hey, this is what I can do. If you can't pay in advance, you can pay same day, but I need, if you can't do 50%, then I need at least, you know, a third of what the price is. I need that in hand, so that way that I know that you're for real, you're gonna secure me. And if I come out and if anything happens or whatever, and you say get the hell off of my property or whatever, I know at least at the end of the day, I can somewhat be paid for the time I've already invested, if that makes sense, folks. You know, and when it comes to that, that's why we tell everybody up front, you know, we require you to pay a deposit, and when you pay the deposit, that secures everything. And I just really don't understand how people don't understand this and they don't grasp this. Everything that we do, folks, we do everything under a contract. We don't do anything hearsay or nothing like that, because in the long run, some people like doing business like that. But I like having a signature from people just because it puts a little bit more on the line for both of us. You know, and in return, when we put both on line for both of us, it becomes more of a better business deal, just because if the customer has to take me to court, or I have to take them to court, or we have some kind of dispute with the police department or whatever you have, you know, come up and stuff, everything that we do is all in black and white. We don't hide anything, we don't sugarcoat anything. It's all right there for everybody to read and for everybody to, you know, grasp what we do and how we do it. You know, there is no questions or anything like that of what we do. And if anybody does have any questions, they can ask anything. We can jot stuff down, create notes. You know, we can do anything to please the customer and get them on a better term. Well, back to the moral of the story is, you know, people need to understand, as a business, we can't go out here and do work for you and you expect us just to, you know, just do it on a hope and a dream and a prayer. And that was the other thing, you know, I meant to mention earlier. This guy didn't want to immediately sign the contract and all that stuff. He wanted us just to come out and, you know, he's like, well, I can pay you $50 and put that in your pocket. $50, bro? That's not even going to really cover me in fuel costs for my saws, the truck, and any other machine that I may have to have out there with me, the stump grinder, you know, like all that. Like come on, man. Like, for real, 50 bucks. And you want me to bring 2 or 3 labor with me to do a job? I'll do it first day, get it done, load it up, I'm out your hair, stump grind, all that stuff, and then all you got to do is make the grass grow on top of it after I rake all the dirt and the mulch back into the hole. Come on. Like, that's what I don't understand with people. You know, I'm not trying to degrade anybody, but doing business, man, like, you got to become something if you want to be something. You know, and you just got to be stern with folks. And I'll tell anybody out there, you know, everybody, it doesn't matter what company you do, even just as simple as a credit card. Even if it's a credit card for 200 bucks, whether, I don't know if you can get a credit card that low or not, but anyway, 500 bucks, 1,000 bucks, whatever the amount is. In the same instance, You have to sign a contract. You have to agree to their terms. You have to do what they say, or otherwise you don't get no work from them. You don't get no offering or anything. Yeah, I know that's a little bit different of a category of, you know, borrowing money or whatever, which the hell with that. If you can get away from borrowing money, don't do it. But in reality, the moral of it is, you know, everything that you do almost that binds you between a business, they're going to have you sign a contract. They're going to have you do whatever is necessary to agree to their terms. That's just the way the world works. And you know, quite frankly, if you can't agree to somebody's terms and understand them as a business saying, hey, I understand, I know I've got to sign my name off and sign my life away for you to allow me to do this and whatever, you just have to take that in consideration, because every business is going to force you to do that. It doesn't matter what you do, you know, because if they're going to spend time and labor and have material invested and stuff like that, they're not just going to do it for free. They're not going to do it. And they're not going to go on a hope and a dream. If it's something that's maybe like $100 or something, yeah, they may get by with it and whatever, not let you do anything. But if this stuff is like upwards of $500, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, you're going to have to pay a portion, if not in full. Some companies will make you pay in full. And that's another thing that's a big thing of acknowledgement, is people doesn't care about a lot of small businesses out here. You know, I grew up in this whole field of doing this, and you know, my grandfather retired, I don't know, my granddad retired when I was probably 11, 12, you know, due to another issue and stuff like that was going on physically with himself. But all of the times before, like you know, the business that he done, you can't do, you just can't be a lump on a log and expect people to do all this stuff and allow you to do everything for free, and then you trust them into paying you. It just doesn't work that way. And you know, the moral of this whole video, folks, is, you know, we want to eventually, in terms of long time down the road, I want to leave a legacy just like my granddad did, you know, and stuff of me growing up and being around all that stuff. But at the same time, it's going to take the people to understand businesses as the way that they work. Like I said, you know, like I said earlier, we're not a business to try to go out here and price gouge and do anything crazy and just stupid nonsense stuff or whatever. But as a business, you have to make money. You have to, you know, you got to grow. You can't, you know, go out here and do crazy stuff. But at the same time, like I said earlier, you as a business owner, for your family, for yourself, for your employees, for anything, your vendors and whatever, everybody has to stay afloat based on the terms of paying your dues. Like you just, that's just something that you're going to have to suck up as a human being, because we as people, you know, we can't just get off scot-free. You got to pay your dues, you got to pay your taxes, you got to pay, you know, your costs for everything in life. Everything you do, even if it doesn't involve money, you've got to pay your dues for whatever the situation is, whatever the cost of whatever it is. So with that being said, that's pretty much where I'm at, you know. And as a business, I can't sit here and trust people to not pay me. You know, granted, you know, that's just the way that it works. And that's why we put it in the contract. If it were to become a situation to where, you know, we just absolutely can't do the job or something like that based on our situation, then I'm just going to give you your money back. I'm not even going to sit here and waste my time of trying to hold the money and doing all that stuff. We've had issues with other people in the past to where, you know, we plan a job and schedule it on down the road and stuff, and then it just becomes more of a problem because these people are like, well, I've already paid you and stuff, and I already expected it to do it the other day and stuff. And I was like, no, we already signed on a contract and set up a scheduled date, and it's already on the calendar. That's when it's going to be done. But in return, if it's something to where we've got to order material, we've got to, you know, do a lot of, you know, estimating, we've got to do a lot of designing or anything like that, you know, we have to get paid for those services. We can't just go out here and just do it for free. And like I said earlier, we can't just expect people to pay us. We can't, you know, we can't just hope and dream on that and thinking that everything's going to turn out okay. You know, it just can't work that way. And, you know, reality is, folks, if you're going to reach out to a business, whether it be us, whether it be anybody else out here, at least respect them for who they are and for what they do. You know, don't try to, you know, hassle somebody and stuff like that. You know, if you agree to the price or whatever and you've got the money, if you like the people and you like the business, or if you've got references from friends or whatever the situation is, help the business out, pay them. Now, I could see if, you know, you call 4 or 5 businesses or whatever, and you pretty much, you know, are sitting here, you know, doing all this or whatever, and, you know, all these businesses are giving you close range prices and stuff like that, and all of them are around the same price, and then you call this one company and it's like fucking 40% higher. Well, in a return, I can see that that's a little crazy. Now, you may not want to go with that company, but if you've got 2 or 3 companies and stuff that are, you know, in the same instance of pricing, then pick one. Just go with them. You know, do whatever you need to do and all that stuff, and, you know, just carry on and stuff like that, you know. But if you're out here just BSing people and you just trying to, you know, shop around and stuff, hey, you know, hey, I want to know how much that costs and stuff, and, you know, all that, but I ain't got no money in my pocket and stuff. I'm just here, you know, I'm BSing these companies and stuff, and I'm just trying to, you know, get a price and whatever. Like, be for real. If you're really going to reach out to companies and stuff, yeah, granted, I understand that maybe you want to do it in the future or something, and you may not want to do it right then and there. That's cool and all, but don't just constantly hassle businesses and stuff like that, because there's a lot more things going on than you realize. You know, there's so many things that's going on, right? So, excuse me. But as businesses, you know, progress and, you know, they, you know, keep on going, they can't sit here and wait hand and foot on people for free and doing all these things or whatever. You know, we can sit here and have a chat and stuff, but before anything ever starts or any kind of machinery starts, folks, you're just, you know, you're going to have to pay your dues. I mean, that's just the way that it works. So I'll end the video right here. You know, hopefully this is a little helpful for everybody to kind of understand our side of the view. You know, and again, I'm not trying to degrade anybody. I'm not trying to put this on anybody. I'm not trying to make anybody sound horrible and stuff. But, you know, when it comes to reality and real life, folks, I mean, just do what you need to do and be respectful in what you're doing. You know, don't try to break it down to people and all this and whatever and stuff. And, you know, like I said earlier, this guy was a veteran and stuff, and I have nothing against any veterans or anybody out here. But, and I even gave the guy, that's something I forgot to mention, I even gave the guy a discount, pretty wealthy little discount on that for being a veteran, and he was an older citizen. And, you know, it kind of irritated me and upset me just because of the way that he talked to me on the phone. And not that the guy was aggressively like an asshole type, but he was kind of one of those guys to where, well, I ain't doing this unless you follow my terms and stuff. And me as a business, well, it's the other way around. Yeah, the customer's always right in a term, but in the same sense, the business flows as a business. We flow as in the way that we write our contracts, the way that we all agree on everything. I sit down and talk to the customers, all of those things. So when it comes to terms of that, I mean, that's just the golden rule. You have to follow it that way. So like I said, we'll end the video, folks. You know, I'm sorry if this upsets anybody. I'm sorry if it, you know, gets under your skin or anything like that. But, you know, realism is realism. You know, I love you guys. I try to be as respectful and honest as I can be. You know, but when it comes to some people you just kind of, you have to be very blunt. I mean, you can't sugarcoat, you can't be sweet. You know, some people, as the old saying of the older generation stuff, you just either like it or you lump it. I mean, that's just the way that life works. I mean, you either agree or you disagree. It's either one way or the other. There's no hard feelings to this guy, but this was just, you know, yesterday, that this was a pretty recent thing, and it's just been on my mind. And, you know, it kind of boggles me of how the guy was the way he was, and then all of a sudden, you know, wanted to turn it around, and it was just a weird situation. So anyways, be sure to like, subscribe, share us, find us on Instagram, find us on Facebook. Like I said, we are in Middle Tennessee. We're pretty broad spectrum of area. You know, we are at the first of the year. Seeding, aeration, fertilizing, mulching. You know, we're fixing to be into spring cleanup here in the next couple of months. So, you know, reach out to us. Let us know what you think. You know, tell me, you know, what your thoughts are on this video. And like I said, just keep watching, folks. We'll keep posting videos. Like I said, I know that I've been lacking a little bit. We've been pretty busy with a lot of other things too, as well as the business. So, you know, trying to get some videos up for you guys. I've got a lot to edit, but that takes a lot of time, because I do all the editing, I do all the videoing, and plus I'm on every job. So bear with me. Love you guys. Like I said, stay blessed, you know, and just respect people, respect businesses, and keep moving on. So we'll see you in the next video, folks. And you know, just God bless, and just keep moving forward and keep your heads up. See you then.